The opening question, why does she test men? Why does she test men? Let's find out. Okay, here's the question. What is a poop test? I just took this from Urban Dictionary, you know. All right, a poop test. A test that a girl performs on a male by saying or doing something to judge the reaction or response from him. I talked all the night and didn't let that chick perform her poop test on me, man, until she got drunk. And now here's another example. We went out together and everything was great, but I failed one poop test and got dumped. And I get this question a lot in all different ways about like, why do women test men? How do you pass the test? Like all sorts of things around women testing men. So I wanted to explore this idea of why do they do it. So here's the goal for today. The goal is simply to understand why she tests men. Women can be confusing, but when you dive into her biology, a lot of questions are answered. And again, guys, we're all coming from different points here because I'm thinking about some of my, I can just say even friends, like some of my friends, if I were to say the same concept to them, there's like such an array of where people are at, of their like red pilling to understand this. But again, like think about some people are so far on the opposite end, literally believing that like men and women are completely equal in all aspects. They're, completely the same. There's no difference between them. That some guys really have no idea why women test men because they do believe that they are the same as us. But we got to remember we're all on different, areas of where we're going through in this kind of red pilling process. So let's just think kind of simply about this. Think about her biology. Is that she needs security. Just think really simple. So a woman has the innate potential to get pregnant and to become extremely vulnerable for 9 months. So if nothing else, just as a guy and a girl from a different point of view, like as a guy, we can go, okay, like this is something we don't have. This is not something we worry about. It's not something ingrained in us. Just one huge example of why we can already start and say men and women are not the same. They're just not the same. There's so many differences about us in that aspect. But just think about that a woman has this ability to become pregnant. And for 9 months, think about a pregnant woman, how vulnerable she would be. Especially like today's world, we look at today's world and we go, well, women can still work and be pregnant and do all these other things. But again, think about the biology of a woman throughout the history of time. That's a very vulnerable position for her to be in. So just understanding, like just thinking about that, it makes sense that she would need to select the best possible mate to help out during this time that her body goes through these weird changes. And then of course, after, to raise children and all that. Again, that's just innate inside of women. It's something that it's a different experience than us men. So again, some of us men go, well, why the heck would they do this? It's like, look, just think about it. They have a whole different game plan throughout life than we do because of this whole potential for the pregnancy thing. So again, back to the goal about understanding why she tests men. So think again, right? Inside of a woman, this ability to get pregnant, all that stuff. Just like that, right? Inside of a woman, her hypergamy. Her hypergamy, this is what we talk about a lot, is always inside of a woman that's programmed to look for the highest status man to protect and provide for her and her future children or her current children or whatever, just to provide for her and whatever life she's bringing along with it. Again, that's programmed in her. We know why. Part of this is just a different way that we're, different goals in life, basically. So if you really think about it, what quicker way to find out than by constantly testing a man? What quicker way could you find out whether a man was high status or a man was going to be the high enough status for you to figure out, like, is this guy real? Is he a phony? Or could he protect and provide for me? I mean, if you just think very logically about that, very simply, it makes a lot of sense. It's like, okay, so she's going to test guys in all sorts of ways to try to filter out and figure out what guy would be the highest status man with a bunch of different factors combined that I could lock down during this, again, women have this period of time, their fertility period. So it's almost like a race against time in that sense. So yeah, she would go through and just try to filter out as many guys as possible. It makes sense survival wise for women. Like that part I can understand. So here's part of this, so that where it gets a little more confusing or entangled, I guess. Her tests are both conscious and subconscious. This is where there's always deeper layers to all this stuff with psychology and all that. But whenever we talk about women testing men, she is sometimes aware of it and she is sometimes not aware of it. So again, it's not like these women go down underground in their little mad scientist lab and they write out this business plan about how they're going to test this certain guy that they're talking to. It's not always that consciously aware of her to do. It's in her nature. So sometimes she's aware of it. Sometimes she just tests men, and this is kind of more of the overt when you hear of like guys say, oh, the wife, she's nagging me, the old ball and chain. Like you hear that kind of stereotype. That's more of the conscious nagging and constantly testing there. But it's like a lot of times this is just subconscious or things you will do. And I think we talked about this last week. Things you will do will trigger something in her subconsciously that she didn't even know it was a test. But all of a sudden, the way that you just handled yourself, it became a test. And she's like, so it's really weird how this, happens. But this is basically how women filter out throughout life to try to select it down to one guy that would protect and provide for her for the future. So again, regardless of her intent, regardless whether she is testing you consciously or subconsciously, the tests will keep coming. They will absolutely keep coming. Some guys just don't even know that women test them, so they're not even aware when these tests come. But they are always going to be coming. And yes, there are some times where women will consciously test a guy with their friends. They'll be like, hey, don't text him back. Don't text him back for 24 hours, see what he does. Like there are definitely the conscious tests like that, but a lot of this too is just that innate inside of her that's always looking, that hypergamy is like constantly filtering. It's almost like there's just a constant test going on based on how you're interacting with her throughout your day. So to give us like a perspective on this about testing and how it's subconscious versus, it's subconscious and conscious, just think about the same idea, but for men in a way. Okay. So us men, we are physically attracted to beautiful women, physically attracted to young, fertile, beautiful women. Now, you either consciously will check out women. Oh, dang, she's hot. Check that girl out, man. Check her out. Look at that. You either consciously do it or a lot of times subconsciously too. Your eyes will just turn. You just notice a girl and it just, boom, subconsciously you turn, check her out. It's kind of that same idea with women, but on the innate ability to test a man. Because for us, it's like we are constantly like, boom, boom, boom. Young, beautiful women attract us because we have the different game involved, right? Think about that. Like we have more of the, spill your seed out to as many women as you can to pass on your genetics. Just think about that in a simple way. Versus a woman literally can have one guy in her, fills her up, 9 months now. She has a kid. Things change. Her body changes after her children. So she couldn't, literally the strategies are just different, right? Because of that comparison right there. But again, for us men, it's like, boom, that consciously or subconsciously. And even think about this in the picture. Be honest, you guys probably look straight at her boobs first. That's why I put this picture here. Again, it's one of those things where you hear of like girls say, "Hey, don't stare at my boobs while you're talking to me." And it's like, even though you know not to do it, a lot of times, right, subconsciously, you might just catch yourself looking at a girl's boobs. They're just there. It's subconscious. That is the same idea with women in testing, is that, yeah, sometimes she consciously tests you, but a lot of times it's just that thing. It's like, dang, I don't know why I can't stop looking at those big boobs over there. It's like, I don't know why I can't stop testing these guys. It's just one of those, it's like a survival mechanism for women. And again, it's just going to happen. It's just part of the game. But I do want to clear this up because there are some guys that really do look at this, again, depending on what level you're at and how much you understand women. But some guys look at this and they go, oh, they're just sitting in a basement all trying to be gold diggers and are all out trying to screw us in their game plan. And it's like, it's not that simple. There's just so many entanglements that go on from the human mind. Her overall game, a woman's overall game, is to select a winner. And a woman will constantly test you to determine if you are a winner. Now, this is where, again, where it's not as simple as just saying either you're a winner or you're a loser. Because, again, what a woman is attracted to, that maybe her hypergamy goes, oh, this guy's a winner, right? When we say, maybe you talk about certain alpha characteristics in a guy, it doesn't always mean that it's actually a good choice for her in the long run, right? The bad boy is not going to be a good choice for her in the long run of her life. So when we say select a winner, it might not look the same as what we would go back and go, no, that's not a winner. That guy is not a winner for her life. But just the idea, right? Her hypergamy is just like, boom, 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 I'm going to select a winner. So again, if she goes through her whole life and guys are just basically coming at her, all these beta on, and she's just testing these guys because, right, she has this biological clock. She's kind of racing against time. I got to find the best possible man, and I got to get through all of this stuff. I got to sort through all of this to find that guy. So she's going to throw these tests out subconsciously, consciously, and keep weeding these guys out until, hopefully she finds her one. But again, we know how this story usually ends up these days with all the options.
One, two, three. Snack time!
We end up with a lot of the single crazy cat ladies. But again, her overall game plan is to select a winner. She wants a guy that's already a winner. And then she wants to win that guy over. That would be her overall game plan. And so again, right, she's going to constantly test you to determine whether you are a winner. Like we talked about, these tests are going to come in all sorts of ways, conscious and subconscious. But how these tests are mainly going to serve the purpose of determining three different things. And again, in all different areas. I could give you a million tests that you'll get in just texting, a million tests you get in online dating or in going on a first date. Whatever area it is, you're going to see all these tests come up, but usually it's to find out three different things. Hey, Adam here. To really get an understanding on female nature and the games that women play, join my new program, Unplugged for Men. It's a continuously growing collection of these full-length, ad-free, uncensored red pill presentations to help men unplug from the blue pill matrix and learn the truth about women, dating, and relationships. Plus, when you join, you get access to our Unplugged community for men. You can download the app. You can look at it on your phone, on your iPad, anything with internet access. So join now. See you inside.